Hi everybody and welcome back to Uncovering Sexual Health. I'm glad that you're joining me today. Today we're going to be looking at some of the products that are available for people who get their periods. I'm going to start off showing you some different pads that are available, different sizes and different brands. I don't have the boxes these came from, or the bags, because I just wanted to show you pads in general versus talking about different brands. If you would like a video on exploring the different brands and how the materials and sizing is different, please leave a comment down below because I'm more than happy to do that. To start, we're going to look at this one. This is called a panty liner, and this one is quite small. So generally people would use a panty liner either at the beginning of their period or like a day before, just as extra protection, or near the end of their period. People might also use these to protect their underwear from vaginal discharge. What people with extra estrogen and people who have vaginas will notice during their monthly cycles is that there'll be certain times during the month that they'll have some vaginal discharge. It's a whitish mucousy texture, and it just is part of the vagina cleaning itself. So vaginal discharge is just a natural part of our life for people who have vaginas. So what you do with the thing is it's tucked up like this into a little package. So this is nice and easy and discreet. You just open it up, and these ones are nice. It is stuck right to the blue packaging. And I do have some brand new underwear here that I was bought for these demonstrations, which is going to be hard to do without hands. But what you would do is, let me just try and figure out how to show this to you. So generally in underwear, there's an extra part that has like a cotton or a soft spot on it. So you would put the pad on that part of the underwear, and that goes right between the legs. So this would be where the vulva is, the genitals. So your labia and vagina would be here. So it goes in like that. So this is, you'd be wearing your underwear like that, and the pad was sitting there. This one got a little bit crinkly. And if that happens, you can kind of pull it out and readjust it. And if you find that you put your pad in either too forward or too backwards, you can always just pull it up and readjust it and put it back in. And when you have used your pad, you would just pull it off, wrap it in a small roll, and wrap it up with toilet paper and throw it in the garbage. Okay, so that one was the panty liner, it's small. So these, I'll show you this one. This one is a bit thicker. So some pads you'll notice, I'm just gonna show you these two side by side. This one is pretty thick and this one is pretty thin. So different brands, when you're buying them, you need to make sure you read the label, because sometimes they'll say whether they're a thicker pad or they're a thinner pad. This one is a bit bulkier, so depending on the protection you need or the size of pad you're going for will determine kind of how thick it might be or how long it might be. This one has wings. So you've probably seen commercials about pads that have wings. What you would do is you take off the little extra bits, and then it's got these sticky parts. Generally, I'm just going to put those back on. Generally what I found best is to put the pad in first. So take off this sticky part. And again, here's the underwear. I'm just gonna, sorry, not looking at the camera right now. So remember, there's that part right where the vulva would be. And you're just gonna stick it on and adjust it. And then, oops, sorry about that. And then what you can do is you can pull these sticky things off of the wings. Oops, oh, I don't know what happened to that one. And then you just wrap them around and they go to the sides, or the back of it. So then that's how the pad with the wings would look. It would go around to the edges. So here we've got a pair of underwear and it's got a pad in it. So what the wings do on pads is to kind of protect your underwear just in case there's some leakage around the sides. And that just happens because it happens. When people get periods, it's not like a big gush of menstrual fluid. It is just little by little each day. And generally the first couple days are a bit lighter. And then in the middle of your period, it's a little heavier. So that's when you would change and have maybe a thicker pad or a longer pad. And then for this one, generally if you pull the top part of the pad out, the wings will release as well. And then again, like the other one, you would just tuck it under. And this one I find handy because then you can wrap the wings around. Oops. And then you would wrap it up in some toilet paper and throw it in the garbage. I think these next ones are going to be similar. I'm just going to open up this larger one. So this would be an overnight type pad. So it's going to be a lot longer. So sometimes overnight when you're sleeping and you're moving, you might want to have a longer pad which can protect your underwear, because when you're sleeping and lay on your back, sometimes the menstrual fluid will drip down to the back. Or if you're a side sleeper, it might go on the side more. So having a longer pad is helpful for that. The next product I'm going to talk about are tampons, and they come in different sizes, and sometimes they'll have an applicator or no applicator. Let's see, this, and this. So these ones here are 3 different sizes of tampons. So depending on the flow of your period would depend on the size of tampon that you're using. So maybe if you're at the beginning of your period, you might use one of these smaller tampons, or if you're mid-cycle or end of your cycle, you might need a bigger one. The way you know which size to use, if you notice that there's menstrual fluid just on a tiny little bit of it, then you might want to go down a size. However, if there's menstrual fluid filling it right up, you might want to go up a size. I'm just going to unwrap one of these to show you what they are. This is the larger size of tampon. And if you're new to using tampons, trying first with the smaller size is great, and you can just change it more frequently. So these ones, I'm going to start with the bigger size. Oops. There we go. And so what tampons are generally made out of is kind of a cottony type material. You would wash your hands before handling a tampon because you don't want any germs or bacteria on the tampon or to go up into your vagina. When you unwrap it, you would pull out the string, and it is, for these ones, you're going to have to actually use your finger to put it up into the vagina. I'm going to use I think I'll show you on this model here that I have. Let's see. It isn't going to be an accurate representation of it, but what would happen is here is the vagina, and the tampon would get pushed up into the vagina, and the string, I'm just putting my arm, would hang out of the vagina so that you can pull it and pull it out. I'll also do a little demonstration using this model. Remember, this is my model that I purchased, and this is the vulva area and the vagina. And this is a model for doing a internal condom demonstration. But I could show you how for a tampon, you would push it up into the vagina. Oops. And then just push it up just a little bit. Oops, into the vagina. So it's just going to sit up in the vagina. And remember, the vagina isn't a big opening like this. It's closed. So it'll hold it in there. And then the string just hangs out from your vagina. And then when you want to remove it, you just pull the string. Oops. And then it would pop out. And with tampons, what you'll do, like a pad, is you're going to wrap it into tissue and put it in the garbage can. It's recommended not to flush these down the toilets because it can really plug up the sewage systems. Okay, these are other tampons, and these ones have an applicator. So I'm just going to open up this one and show you. They're kind of different sizes. Oh, actually, I'm going to do 2 of them because this one has a bit of a different application system. So wash your hands and you're going to open this up. And these ones have a plastic applicator, so it's got a really soft tip. And if you can see here, there's a bit of an opening in the tip. And what you would do, so this one, it's already, the application part is already extended. So you would slide the applicator up the vagina, and generally our vaginas are moist, and when we have our period, we'd have the period fluid that would be moist. So it should slide up easily into the vagina. And then what happens is you push on this bottom applicator part, and it pushes the tampon into the vagina. And if it was a real vagina, it would just hold there, and then the string would come out. And then when you needed to remove it, like the other one, you would just pull it out and then wrap it in tissue and put it in the garbage can. So the reason why people might use this kind of tampon versus the one with an applicator is because there's less waste. However, depending on how comfortable you are with pushing this one up your vagina with your hand versus using an applicator, it's all up to you. You might choose to experiment with different types of tampons to see which one is best for you. Next, I'm going to show you this tampon because it's just a little bit different. It's not coming out of the package. Oops. So it comes in the package like this. And with this one, it's got a little application system. So you have to pull this out, and there should be, there we go, a click sound so that it's in place. And then like we did before, this would go up into the vagina, and you'd push the applicator and the tampon would be deposited into the vagina and left in there. And again, the string would be hanging out. If you don't want the string hanging out or you find that not comfortable, usually it would sit in your underwear, you could just roll it up and put it right into your vagina, and then you just pull the, like that, and then you could just reach your fingers in and pull the stringer right out. The last product that I'm going to talk about is the Diva Cup, a product that you would insert into your vagina, and it collects the menstrual fluid and then you pull it out, and it's a reusable product. I noticed at the grocery store there were 3 different colors of packaging, and I couldn't figure out what was the difference. However, there's a little number here, see the number 2, and what it is, there's a sizing guide on the side. So it says size 0. If you're 18 years or younger and you're first getting your periods, you would go for the size 0, and it's meant for people with lighter flows. Model 1 is for people between the age, it suggests is 19 to 30, and people who have like a medium flow. And then the model 2 is for somebody that's over 30 years old who has maybe a heavier flow. Really, the size you choose is going to depend on what you need for your body and your menstrual cycles. I do believe though the size of the Diva Cup is a bit smaller when you go down to the size 0. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see a comparison of the different sizes from 0, 1, and 2, because I could do that in another video. For this video, we'll look at this one, size 2. I just bought this one for this size because of my age. Okay, so for the first part, when you open the box, it comes with an instruction manual, and it also comes with a little case for you to put your Diva Cup in, so it's a nice place to store it. So what we have here is the Diva Cup. It's made out of a silicone type material. It could have latex in it, so depending on if you're sensitive to any latex or plasticky products, you'll want to check it out first and kind of read the finer prints of what material it's made from. It does have little lines that indicate flow or measurements, so 15 millimeters, 7.5 mils, or if you're a person who measures in ounces, there's half an ounce or a quarter of an ounce. In the instruction manual, it shows how to insert the Diva Cup into the vagina, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and demonstrate this on my vagina model. So what you would do is, first when you buy one of these, you're going to actually sterilize it, so you're going to actually boil it in water for I think 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure it's clean. And so when it's ready to be used, you fold up the end like this, and then what you're going to do is you would insert this into the vagina. So it's going to be a really tight fit, and because it's this silicone plasticky material, it might be hard to get in. But once you've inserted it into the vagina, It's going to be hard to see. I'm going to try and show you that way. And then what you do is, oops, I'm just going to show you with my hand. So you would insert it into the vagina, and then you're going to twist it into the vagina, and it's going to open up and create a seal along the vaginal wall. And then what would happen is any of the menstrual fluid that's coming out of the uterus into the vagina would collect in here, and it's not going to leak through the sides because it'll have a nice seal against the vagina. And remember, the vagina is kind of like a muscle, and it's always contracted, and then it just opens up as you would insert something into it. All right, and so that's the Diva Cup. When you're pulling it out, you just need to make sure you're kind of doing it slowly and carefully, and you just kind of wiggle it out just to make sure that the fluid isn't going to fall out. So the best practice would be to, when you're removing this, to be doing it over top of the toilet, and then you can just dump the fluid into the toilet, flush the toilet, clean up as usual, and then you would rinse this out for your next use. A Diva Cup you can leave inserted in the vagina for approximately 12 hours, depending on your flow. Whereas the tampon, on the boxes, it recommends you only leave it in between 4 to 6 hours. And a pad, generally you would change every 4 to 6 hours as well, depending on how saturated it is. So this one you can just leave in for a longer time, so kind of leave it in and forget about it. However, you'll be needing to change these products more often. And join me again next time when we talk about period underwear and comparing some of the different products that are available. Thanks again for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up.